the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
Today, we're here with the first installment of November Saints. And this month's theme is...
Well, someone said that, essentially this month is the month of Thanksgiving. So, thankful saints, which is really hard because every saint is thankful for their stuff for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So,
ingratitude is not a marker of the saints, really.
So, I did saints we are thankful for in that they are well-known enough saints or well-known enough about one fact or, thing about them that we have used them in game shows, discussions, and so forth.
All right. Excellent. So,
we also have feast in November. Otherwise, it'd be all about Carlo.
So start
all about Carlo.
All about Carlo.
This is my Charizard, Carlo.
This is
my Pokemon froze, and I had an important battle. So
this is
the
pilot for our sitcom. Everybody loves Carlo.
I feel like if we're gonna do that, it has to be Carlo in charge.
Carlo, yeah.
Yes,
yeah, Carlo in charge.
Carlo in charge of our days.
All right, but we're
so starting off the list, we have Saint Hubert, a.k.a. Hubert of Liege, also known as Saint Hubertus.
We really should have a bottle of Jägermeister on set.
We really should.
We should. Which it's my story for it, because as I work at a store that has liquor, someone came in and they're like, I'm looking for... Dear God, liquor. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, the Dear God liquor.
D-E-E-R, God liquor. Yeah.
and then
I'm just saying, if you walk
got
in...
around to the fact that he wanted Jägermeister. I'm like, all right, he was right. It's the Dear God liquor.
Well, I'm just going to say, if they walk in there and they say that they are there for Dear God liquor,
that's
then you say, well, you're in the right place.
That's what everyone did when Prohibition was repealed. Oh, dear God, liquor!
And his stating of it seemed more emphatic of the, I know the name of this, and on my tip of my tongue.
So it's been a while since he's come up. Well, now that I think about it, he's going to have to find his way into a game show. But St. Hubertus was born 656. Positive side, around 656, 658. Died May 30th, 727.
Very specific.
Yep. His feast day, November 3rd. And his attributes are a stag's head with a crucifix over it. So, deer antlers with the cross.
Again,
literally
the symbol of Jäger.
It is literally the emblem of Jägermeister. A banner showing the stag's head and crucifix with a knight and also 2 hounds. Because he was a hunter.
Really liked hunting.
Really loved hunting. In fact, that is his whole story.
He is the patron of hunters, archers, dogs, forest workers, trappers, not trappists, mathematicians, opticians, and metalworkers.
Yes, so the reason why he has those symbolisms and why Jägermeister has that symbolism with Jägermeister being German for essentially the hunt master.
Yep. No, not essentially. That is the word.
Jäger, hunter, Meister, master.
Yeah, hunt, master.
Or master hunter.
It is both a literal and figurative translation.
Is according to his story, one year he decided that he was going to go out hunting on Good Friday rather than go to mass or stay at home and do penances and stuff.
Look, mass is good. It's great. It's for all. But he was a hunter. And he needed to be out there in the woods.
In fairness, there is no mass on Good Friday.
True. But, religious
service. Yeah, the service. Absolutely.
He was upper class.
He was skipping out on church to go hunt himself some deer.
Boo!
On a day when he was not supposed to be eating the deer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And back then, I think people largely, kept the
wasn't going to be eating the deer for a couple of days. So.
But anyway, so he's out hunting. Probably with, I'm guessing, 2 dogs.
When he ought to have been in church and suddenly
chases down this deer, and all of a sudden, the deer turns. It faces him. And there, in its antlers, is a vision of Jesus Christ dying on the cross. I like to, in my personal head, envision that the moment at which this happened was 3 p.m.
That would be,
very apropos. And Hubertus was cut to the heart.
changed his life, turned it around, started doing all the things he was supposed to do, to the point that after his wife passed away, because he was
married.
It's a nobleman.
He was a nobleman. This was not like when he was young. This was probably after he had kids and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He was 30-something.
Yeah, but his wife died, so he ended up becoming a priest. Ended up being the bishop of, and you're going to need
Maastricht, in the Netherlands. And I believe he was the bishop there, and I think they moved him at some point, but then moved back. And it's weird. Or moved him somewhere, and then he died, and they brought his body back there. So,
but he had a profound conversion.
Like moving the bones of saints.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And then recording the date.
Translating. Next, also on November 3rd, we have Saint Martin de Porres.
That's a good one.
A.K.A. Martin de Porres Velázquez.
Yep. Born December 9th, 1579, in Lima, the Viceroyalty of Peru, Spanish Empire. Because it wasn't its own country yet.
No, would not be for quite some time. Died on November 3rd, 1639. So at the age of 59.
Yeah.
Also in Lima. Basically spent his whole life in Lima.
He has lots of fun attributes that you'll see in pictures of him.
He's great.
A dog, a cat, a bird and a mouse eating together.
Lion and the lamb.
Sometimes
Peaceful.
it's all of them. Sometimes it's just a dog on itself, or a cat, or a dog
Dogs
and a cat.
and cats
Sometimes it's
living
a dog
together.
And cat and bird and mouse
Mass
all
hysteria.
eating together from the same bowl. A broom, a crucifix, the rosary, and a heart. Which I feel like I forgot, but it's like some set symbolism. So I think maybe like flames or something on his heart.
Sure. Heart set up. Fire with love.
Yep. His patronage is black people, hairstylists, innkeepers, lotto winners, mixed race people, animals, Peru, the poor, public education, public health, race relations, social justice, state schools, TV, Mexico, Mississippi, Peruvian naval aviators.
That is quite a list.
That is quite a list, and that last one is very specific.
Yes.
So, many of these, many of these patrons...
Just compared to like all the others, it's like I got 50.
Not the Peruvian Air Force, just the naval, and even not even the Navy, just the naval aviators.
Yeah, I got like these 50 ones, and one of them is that guy.
So, and excluding the Mexico, that is the most out of left field given his life.
And many of these patronages have to do with St. Martin de Porres' life.
So he was the illegitimate son of a Spanish man and a freed slave from Panama. There's differing reports on whether she was a Native American or African former slave, but in either case, part of his life is the fact that he is very much definitely obvious mixed race and obvious, darker complexion. Because he had various, people being racist against him because of it.
Yeah. Yep. His father abandoned his mother when he was young, leaving them in abject poverty.
Yes. And it was one of those things where it was him, her, and a younger sister. So even though it wasn't an official thing, they seemed to have like a family unit that they were together. Like, I don't know if it's something where he couldn't marry her or like he had a wife back home in Spain and,
Given that he abandoned them, I just presumed that he was a jerk and wouldn't.
Yeah. In whatever case.
Yeah.
In whatever case.
He had a stable life with a father that at least had, some stuff, and then he up and ran.
And however you slice it, his dad started a family and then bailed on them. For whatever the reason may be, totally unacceptable. Martin then went to school for 2 years before becoming an apprentice to a barber surgeon. At the time, those two jobs were the same job. If you needed somebody who was going to cut into you, it's the guy who knows his way around the sharp things and doesn't deal with dead meat.
Yeah. Because you don't want to go to the butcher.
The butcher can cut into you. Whether or not he can sew you back up is a whole other story.
He'll butcher you.
Yes. He wanted to become a Dominican, but at the time it was illegal for descendants of Africans or Native Americans to become a full member of a religious order.
Boo.
So he was at first allowed to volunteer at the local monastery, largely doing menial tasks.
Thus the broom
the
of
broom,
an attribute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The various, Cinderella level wildlife that, clearly he had to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
But it did let him wear the habit and be a member of the community.
And eventually, he was allowed to become a third order Dominican, even though this was technically against the law.
Mm-hmm. And during that time, he did
various
other jobs that a number of them related to the fact that he was trained on how to do hair / some level of healthcare.
Yeah.
We should also point out that the reason why he wasn't allowed was because it was a state law.
Yeah.
It was not that the church wouldn't let him do these things. It was that there were people in the government of Peru that said,
in the viceroyalty.
Meh.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
Good point.
It's one of those weird times when like church and state kind of blended together, so things got weird. But officially speaking, it was a civil law that was stopping him from doing this, as opposed to a official religious prohibition.
Yes. Yes. I'm sure it was signed off by probably local bishops because they were largely the Spanish nobles and a bit racist.
And because they were probably not the best people in the world, but or were told, well, you're going to.
Well, and he is one of the earliest examples I know of a great saint who was persecuted in religious life, worked extremely menial jobs, and then gets the last laugh because he's a saint.
Yep.
I don't even think he was a doorman.
But he's sweeping up. He's doing the bad things. Also, there's a great story about him where he was told not to do something, and then he went and did it. And when he came back, his superior was like, "Why did you disobey me?"
Oh, it's cats.
Okay. Sorry, we had some cats outside that were fighting. But for a moment, it sounded like we had some talking toy in the house that was going crazy, and it's just before Halloween, so those things could totally happen.
It would be the first time.
So, he went and he did the thing, and he came back, and his superior's like, "Why did you disobey me?" And he told him, "Well, charity is a greater obligation than obedience." The superior thought for a moment, like, "You are correct." And so he wasn't punished.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Martin de Porres.
Our last saint for part 1 is another one that I don't know that we've done in game show episodes, but she's right up there on you could easily throw her in.
Tap her in.
Saint Elizabeth.
That Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
Mother of St. John the Baptist.
Yep.
Yes.
The one that Mary went to go visit when she was pregnant.
Yes. She was born sometime in the 1st century BC. We assume she died sometime in the 1st century AD. I didn't bother looking it up, given, her age and everything. It seemed pretty obvious. She clearly had to have been alive during the time in which it was AD, because John the Baptist was only
6 months.
6 months older than Jesus.
Yep.
And she's probably not one of the people who became vampires, so...
Definitely not Vampire Pope.
Definitely not the Vampire Pope.
Definitely not.
Her feast is November the 5th. Her patronage, pregnant women. And this is Elizabeth, John the Baptist's mom. So see the Bible for her story.
And her attribute is there aren't that many images of her alone.
Usually she's there with John the Baptist. I like the ones where it's her and baby John the Baptist.
Or she's with the Blessed Mother.
Her and baby John the Baptist, who's dressed up like adult John the Baptist, and then Mary and baby Jesus, who also has he'll have like a cross or something, and people are like, "Isn't that a little too soon, man?"
I'm just glad to hear there were.
That's why we wear red at Christmas, for the blood that he's going to shed.
I'm just glad to hear that there's ones of Elizabeth and Mary, because if I'm going to get an Elizabeth one, I want to get an Elizabeth and Mary one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There is the I don't know who did it, but there has to be like an actual artist, because there's a fairly new one that's really popular of Mary and Elizabeth greeting each other, and they're all like laughing happy over how they're each super pregnant.
That's kind of cool.
Which involves Mary looking more pregnant than she would have at that point.
Yeah, that's
it's
kind of
artistic thing.
That's kind of anachronistic. Gabriel's very clear, and this is now the 6th month for her who was called barren. So sure, Elizabeth is going to be showing a 6th month, but Mary's just barely pregnant.
Yeah. I mean, she stayed with her for a few months.
So 3 months later,
there are some people
could
that
be when
are
they're parting. Could be when they're parting.
Super, pregnant. There's some ones where
sure.
You see them for 9 months and suddenly have a baby, and you're like, oh, sure, you're wearing a coat in winter, but not that big of a coat.
And in all the apparitions, she's a tiny little thing, so she probably showed early. So those are the saints of the first part of November.
Go down below, leave us comments about what you think about these saints and how awesome they are. Or what other saints you think we need to be putting some spotlight on.
Preferably ones whose feast days are November.
Well, I mean
December.
Preferably ones that are December, so we have ones for next month. Yeah, but if they're further on out, that's fine too.
You could give us November, but the odds are we're not going to remember a year.
No, we won't. Look, the November episodes have already been written. Odds are...
I'm saying we'd have to save them for next year.
Yes. Which is a lot. Or as a wild card, the weirdest thing you called something in a store to get where it is.
Give this episode a like, subscribe to our channel, ring the church bell to be notified the next time we talk about the saints.
And remember to always live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.